Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Wiley Drake. I have the privilege to be now more than 25 years the senior pastor, which means the under shepherd of the First Southern Baptist Church of Buena Park, California. It was my privilege in 2007 to be elected by the Southern Baptist Convention as their second vice president. It has also been my privilege since the year 2000 to serve as the member and part of the leadership of an organization that was founded by Rod McDougall and myself back in the year 2000 while flying aboard a 747. The title of that organization is Congressional Prayer Conference of Washington, D.C.org. If you'd like to check me or him out, you're welcome to do so by simply going to Congressional Prayer Conference of Washington, D.C.org. We were in D.C., we were in prayer. We met with senators, with representatives, with pastors, with leaders, with prayer warriors. And all of us came to the conclusion that we need to pray America back. Actually, our founding scripture was 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, I will hear from heaven, God said, forgive their sin and heal their land. And we said we must do that. Now, since the year 2000, we have had that organization. In the year 2010, we had indeed, in my opinion, a bad year. First of all, Rod McDougall passed away with cancer and went to heaven. So I lost my buddy, I lost my partner. I decided at that time to make an executive decision and keep the organization going, but to change the title from president and vice president to chairman and co-chairman. I appointed myself as the chairman, and I asked a godly friend of mine, Dr. Clyde Rivers, to come on board and be my co-chairman, and he has been now for some time. We also had another organizational minor change in the year 2002. On the second anniversary of 9/11, we decided that we would start an organization called Telephonic Prayer Meeting. Telephonic Prayer Meeting. Telephonic meaning on the telephone. Prayer, that's what we would do. And meeting, that would be to strategize and to plan and to share what we could do and so forth. At that point, we began to decide it would probably be wise for us to be in D.C. at least once a month. And since that time, we've done that most years, most months, unless we had something else that was pressing. So we have now continued, and we have a website. God has blessed us to give us the opportunity. We prayed the prayer of Jabez and said, God, please bless us big, and he did. Right now, I'm broadcasting to you on the original Wiley Drake Show CPC TV television channel on the internet. We have just opened this week our second television network, and that is CPC TV. And so we will be broadcasting to you on both these channels. This channel I'm on right now will be used primarily for the WileyDrakeShow.com, for the church, and for other things. The CPC TV will be to take care of congressional prayer needs. That phone ringing right now is what happens here quite often. And I'll not answer that call right now. I'll get it later. But I do apologize for the interruption. I will continue, though, to say, please pray with us and for us. I want to give you a very recent prayer request. God has told me that I should go to Houston, Texas. The first thing that precipitated my going was that the denomination that I belong to, a very godly, good denomination. Notice I didn't say perfect. But we have over 10,000 missionaries around the world. We have 48,000 local congregations around the United States and the rest of the world. We have about 15 million people that call themselves Southern Baptist. And so I'm a part of that denomination, very unapologetically and very proud. And every year we have our annual business meeting. We have it in various cities. Last year we were in New Orleans. This year it's going to be in Houston. And so I decided, again, that because my church, my dear wife who's in heaven, and my Lord told me a long time ago if I was going to be a Southern Baptist, I ought to go to the meetings every year. And so I decided to go to Houston for a few days for the annual meeting of the Southern Baptist Convention. And I am a registered, elected messenger to the convention. That means I get to vote. Now, after praying about it and thinking about it, I became a little bit discouraged about, well, should I go? It costs a lot of money to go. Maybe I shouldn't go. And then the Lord laid it on my heart to take the live broadcast of the Wiley Drake Show, which is on twice a day, 5 days a week, to take the show on the road. We've taken it to Hawaii. We've taken it to Washington, D.C. We've taken it to New Orleans. We've taken it all over the country and all over the world. And so on June the 3rd through the 15th, we will be live on location in Houston, Texas. And I'm sort of taking a little play on some words that I heard many years ago when I was in aerospace work, when I was working for a living, not being a pastor, just being a youth pastor. One of the astronaut groups were coming back into the atmosphere, and there was a communications problem, and they were not able to come back in at the proper angle and the proper time. And many of you remember that if you come in at the wrong time or the wrong angle, you could become a crispy critter. You could burn up coming back into the atmosphere. And so one of the astronauts communicated with headquarters in Houston, Texas. And they said, Houston, we have a problem. And Houston then dealt with the problem. And it was several hours before they knew whether they would be able to come home or not, whether they would burn up or not when they came home. Finally, they did make some adjustments. They went back around again, and indeed they were able to come back safe and sound. But for many years now, even today, people say, Houston, we have a problem. And that indicates something is going awry. Well, I believe Houston, we have a problem is pertinent again. We just experienced a brutal serial killer. The reason I call Kermit Gosnell a serial killer is because serial killers not only kill a lot of people, but they keep tokens. They keep reminders of who they killed. Kermit Gosnell had a little baby's feet and fingers and other things in the refrigerator in his office. So that qualifies him as a serial killer. There is another killer down in the state of Texas, and we have a problem in Houston. We have several Planned Parenthood facilities there. It's my understanding the largest one is there. So I said, Houston, we have a problem. I'm going to Houston. I've already paid for my airplane ticket, and I've made arrangements for lodging at the local hostel in Houston. And I would hope that someone out there would donate the use of a van or a car or something during those 2 weeks. I do not have the finances to rent a car or a van. And if I do not get that, I will simply transport myself around town on the bus system. But if someone will loan me the use of a van or a car, I will put our signs for the National Prayer Embassy prayer tour and the Hollywood prayer tour. I will put those signs on that vehicle. And each day, the 3rd through the 15th, we will do a prayer tour of Houston around those so-called clinics around those abortuaries and around the churches and around other places in Houston as directed. I need two things. Number one, I need a vehicle, the use of a vehicle. And number two, I need the assistance of someone or more than one person, someone people or more, to be the tour guide. I've been to Houston several times, but I do not know Houston well. And so I would like to have someone who would be the prayer coordinator, the prayer leader of the Houston prayer tour from the 3rd through the 15th. If you would donate the use of a vehicle, and if you would come and be our tour guide and help me with this prayer tour, I would greatly appreciate it. And I will ask God to bless you because you do it. And if you do it, the way you can get in touch with me if you'd like to be involved is to call me on my cell phone. That's the one that just rang, 714-865-8132. And if you'd like to rent a car or a vehicle for me, you're welcome to do so. I'd appreciate it. And I believe God will bless you for it. Houston, we have a problem. Houston, we have a solution. Houston, the problem is there, ongoing, big, and dangerous. But we, as God's people, have a solution. 2 Chronicles 7:14 says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face, then he said, I will hear from heaven, forgive their sin, and heal their land. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a problem in Houston, and God has a solution in heaven. And if we will pray, I believe God will solve the problem that Houston has, as well as the rest of our nation. Please call me, 714-865-8132. Email me at Wiley, that's Wiley, Wiley, at att.net. I had a lady send me a message from Houston saying, I want to help. Please give me your mailing address. And so if there are others of you out there that would like to do that, the mailing address here at the church is First Southern Baptist Church, 6801 Western Avenue in the city of Buena Park, California. Now that's a Spanish name, and it's spelled B as in boy, B-U-E-N-A, Buena Park, California, 90621. So the mailing address, Wiley Drake, First Southern Baptist Church of Buena Park, 6801 Western Avenue in the city of Buena Park, California, 90621. Now we have the Congressional Prayer Conference of WashingtonDC.org. We have the telephonic prayer meeting. We have all of this, but it's all under the auspices of a church called the First Southern Baptist Church of Buena Park that God started more than 50 years ago here in Buena Park, California, near Knott's Berry Farm. I've had the privilege now to be there under shepherd and pastor for 25 years. And everything we do is under the auspices of the church. And I want to end this broadcast by saying what I say quite often about this ministry. Whatever it is the church. And I say four things about that. Number one, it is the church. Number two, it is the church. Number three, it is the church. Number four, it is the church. Call me. Let me know if you'd like to be involved. Maybe you live in Houston. Maybe you can't donate a use of a car or vehicle, but you could come along if and when we get that vehicle. Give me a call. Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. May God bless you, and may God give you a great, great day.